Garza Law, Tennessee Baseball, Extra Innings, presented by the Garza Law Firm. Online at garzalaw.com. Call in 865-200-5402. TLD Logistics Hotline. We're live after every SEC. We're live after every Tennessee postseason baseball game. Spread the word. Tell a friend. Come join us. We're live at tclub.team, X Spaces, Twitch, and YouTube. I am Will Heflin. Vols are one singular baseball game win away from a third straight Super Regional. 4 out of the last 5 years. No, 5 out of the last 6 years, I believe. 4 out of the last 5. Something like that. Marcus Phillips, 6 innings, 3 earned. Really was 2. Gave up the solo his last batter faced. They sent him out there for the 7th, trying to squeeze an extra inning out of him. It's neither here nor there. Ties a career high with 8 strikeouts. The offense was solid. Gavin Keelan is just a hit parade in postseason play so far. Andrew Fisher laced balls into the right center gap. Dean Curley, in the middle of a Tony Vitello in-game interview, goes off the batter's eye to the right field side of that center field batter's eye. And Tony Vitello was live talking with Mike Monaco and KP. Mike Monaco, by the way, unbelievable play-by-play guy. And I've been on the record giving some guys some flack, and I know I'm just, I'm not the best guy to ever do it. But I've done a few games and have a little bit of self-confidence in that deal. But Mike Monaco's phenomenal, and I like KP too. He can get in some quirks at times, but I love his voice. But anyways, Tony Vitello sees the ball off of Dean's bat and says, "Dean's strong. I hope that's a home run." And it was. Absolute missile. Tennessee, pretty consistent approach at the plate. Made it really tough on Mr. O'Connell from Cincinnati. I mean, he was at 55 pitches through 2 innings. Levi Clark and Andrew Fisher both had long ABs. Levi in the first, Fisher in the second. Levi's ended up in a walk. Fisher's a strikeout, but Fisher's was 9 pitches. That's quality at bat. Marcus, the only inning where he got roughed up was the inning that 2 runs scored, and those 2 runs were both walks. But he was phenomenal holding the run game. They stole 1 base on him. And after that inning, it was a 3-2 game. Gavin Keelan gets a fortunate triple. We'll call it fortunate. High pop-up in kind of no man's land. They had him shifted. Gets a triple. Fisher hits a ground ball up the middle for an out, but it scored a run. And that was a response immediately to Cincinnati punching back a little bit. And so, very businesslike again tonight. The team just seems calm, cool, and collected. And I got to tell you, I'm fully jumped in the boat. So I can't wait to go to the phones. Let's go to them. Extra Innings, welcome in.
Hey guys, Dave.
Hey Dave.
Well, I'm glad we got the win, but that 9th inning it's a reason they probably get out of this regional, but they won't make it to a super regional. That 9th inning just is a perfect example of they just can't play clean baseball.
Well, hold on, Dave. Hold on. You had a defensive replacement in the game, Ariel. He makes an error. And Gavin Keelan played phenomenal at shortstop all day. Made several nice plays.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something they don't do in the future. Secondly, there were a couple bleeders. And A.J. Russell was at 50 pitches and started getting loose in the 4th inning, was up and down, up and down. I didn't really like going to him, but they ended up doing it. And that was one of those deals where the score of the game dictates the moves you make, right? So you can't necessarily look at that. It reminds me of the Texas A&M Game 3 of last year's final where you're ultimately trying to get that 3rd out. And, things can get a little squirrely. Teams can throw a punch late.
Well, I didn't like bringing in Arvidsson out now. I don't know if he can come back tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe he can.
Yeah, he can. Russell's down probably for the rest of the regional, but Arvidsson will be fine tomorrow.
I would just with with an 8-2 lead, 8-3. I just would have gone to somebody else besides AJ. I just would have.
Yeah,
and
I agree with you. But hey, maybe that's why they left him in there, because you saw the fight that Cincinnati was able to show.
I feel, yeah, but Cincinnati's okay. They're an okay team. I mean, they're a team that we bring here during the middle of the week. I just don't think they're okay. This team, its inability to, the throw from catcher to first base by Peebles is another one. It's those little things that separate you from going to Omaha and not. And this, this team is what it is, and maybe we'll get lucky, but we'll get through this. I think. I don't think anybody's going to beat us twice, but it's going to be awful hard to win at Arkansas. So, but that's all right. I thought if this team made supers, that was going to be a great accomplishment for this team. But it's frustrating to watch them sometimes. Because like I've said, we're spoiled the last few years, and for whatever reason, this team, they're playing okay right now, but they just can't play clean enough baseball, and I hate that. And I don't know what they're going to do with Antigua in the future. He can't be he can't be an everyday shortstop. Doesn't hit well enough. I think he's overrated defensively. That's just my opinion. But let's finish it out tomorrow, first game, and we'll see what happens after that. Y'all have a great night.
All right, thanks, Dave. I clearly came to a different conclusion watching that game, but all right. Extra innings. You're on the air.
Yo, it's about that time.
What's up, William?
Finally, yep, about that time we go and play Wake Forest. I want to see him play Wake Forest.
I don't know that
I'm
you're
happy.
going to, brother. You think Wake Forest gets by Cincinnati in that first game tomorrow? I don't know. They give up 13 runs to Miami. I tell you one thing. I hope that first game tomorrow is similar to what it was today, 14-13. Both teams throw all of their bullpen arms. They got nothing left. And then I'm on here on Garza Law extra innings tomorrow night talking about Tennessee scoring 15 runs because they had nothing left.
So Cincinnati will play Wake Forest tomorrow.
They will. And Tennessee will await the winner.
All right. So, and I believe the winner of this regional will play the winner of the Fayetteville regional. Is that right?
That's right. Arkansas currently leads Creighton 4-0, top of the fifth. Arkansas, 2 outs, 2 on. They're like Tennessee was. They're the away team tonight. So, barring something crazy, looks like Arkansas is in the driver's seat in that one.
Okay. Arkansas, they're good. They're good. But I'll tell you one thing: Tennessee's played there already this season.
Mm-hmm. Don't put the cart before the horse, Will.
I'm not.
Need one more win in Knoxville before we worry about going anywhere else.
Like Fayetteville, but I'm just saying if Tennessee does win tomorrow against either Wake Forest or Cincinnati again, they've played in Arkansas. They've played at Arkansas before, my bad. And I think it'll be easier. They've played there before. They're gonna want revenge, which I want revenge.
I agree, William. Thanks so much for the call, man.
Have a good night, y'all.
You too. William wants revenge. I want revenge too. Before we go back to the phones here on Garza Law Extra Innings, I want to give a quick shout out to the boys of Walter State playing for the JUCO National Championship tonight against Salt Lake. Just up the road in Morristown. A lot of good baseball players have come out of Walter State and are currently playing at Walter State. So happy for Coach Shelton and those boys. Also, VIP Play is live. Code TNVIPS if you want to help me out. Code TN Tony as well. Bet $5, get $100 in bonus bets. Got to be 21 and in Tennessee. Gambling problem, please call the red line. Do all that responsibly and for fun. Back to the phones we go. Garza Law Firm, Extra Innings on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Welcome in.
Hey, Will, this is Rex. I just want to say let's savor the moment here.
That's right, brother.
Savor the moment. Now, did you play for Tony Vitello?
I did. I had 4 years with Tony Vitello.
So what does he say in that little huddle in the outfield after a game like this?
He could say lots of things, but I think the main point is going to be if you sleep on a win.
Is it like positive? Is it like a pep talk? Or is he like, chill the fuck out? I'm sorry if I can't say that. Does he say chill out because, you got to keep humble? What does he do?
It's always focused on the next task. How can we be the most prepared for the next game? A coach speak phrase that they've used a time or two in that huddle, and I've heard elsewhere as well. You sleep on a win, you might wake up to a loss. So I think that's good food for thought for the Tennessee baseballs as they lay their head on the pillow at night tonight. You did your job. Next pitch.
Well, I'm just savoring the moment, man.
That's right.
We just have a great baseball program. We got a great program for everything. We're in everything school right now, but I think people still need to show up. We'll probably win tomorrow just because a lot of factors, but then Arkansas is going to be tough.
Potentially Arkansas will be tough, but we got to
What can we do tonight? Do you just everybody focus, say your prayers, and just come out winning?
No, we're not playing the game. We can enjoy it as much as we want. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, we can savor the moment. Let me tell you this: Tony Vitello, his first regional was his second year as head man at Tennessee. That was 2019. Okay, we went to Chapel Hill and lost 2 games. We lost the first game, won the next 2 in the losers bracket, and then lost in the regional final to North Carolina, who was the host. Since then, didn't play in 20. That season was canceled. In 21 as a host, in 22 as a host, in 23 at Clemson, and 24 as a host, and 25 the first 2 games. The guy hasn't lost a regional game since that Chapel Hill defeat in 2019. And yours truly threw 3 innings in that game. He's just on an unbelievable run. He's undefeated at home in regional games in his tenure. I believe, if my math is right, that's like 11-0 at this point, maybe 12. We got to savor it and be thankful for it. Now, they still got to win one more. They got 2 chances to do it, and then they'll be headed to supers, whether that's likely Arkansas or waiting on somebody to come here. If Creighton or somebody else is able to pull a big upset there, we'll just have to see. But phenomenal what they've done, man. Phenomenal. And that Cincinnati team is really, really good. So I know Dave wants to, he saw some of the blemishes, and he's allowed to see it that way. But the game was in hand at that point, and they're kids. You know what I mean? So this team played phenomenal baseball tonight. They were extremely clean, and until the game was in hand, they were damn near perfect. And we need to appreciate that because we gave them a lot of flack for either questioning if they were able to respond after being punched, or questioning their fight, questioning their focus and ability to string together competitive baseball games. And all they've done in the postseason has just made it look easy. And you look across the country and it's anything but easy.
I agree. And in closing, you're talking about savoring the win. Will, can I be brutally honest here?
I prefer it.
How does Tony Vitello savor the win? Does he have just like a chain of ladies out there? Because the program's clean, and there's not a bunch of weird stuff that pops out in the socials. But we're all wondering, and we would all be disappointed if he's just going at home alone every night, This is what we really want to hear. Tell us the truth.
Well, unfortunately, we'll have to leave that one to your imagination, but I appreciate the call, brother.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night. Back to the phones we go. Garza Law, extra innings, you're on the air.
Come on, Will, you got to spill the beans on Tony's love life here. Come on.
Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Andrew, what's up, dude? I'll tell you one thing. I can tell you this. He ain't savoring nothing because he's an absolute psychopath, and he is always focused on the next thing. Now, did he savor the national championship? I'm sure, but I wasn't there, so I don't know, and I'm not going to speak for the guy, nor am I going to get in his business. He's a grown man. He can make his own decisions. As long as he doesn't put a stain on his name or the university's name, then guy can do whatever he wants. But yeah, even if I knew how he celebrated, I wouldn't be at liberty to say.
Yeah, I'm sure he's celebrating tonight by making some calls to guys on the portal, if Tony knows him correctly. But yeah, you kind of hit the stuff I was going to hit on. We've had two pretty chill victories so far, and look at the hosts around the country. No one's really had that. So we got to not take that for granted. And I also wanted to save Russell. I thought we could have gone with some other arms tonight when we were up 8-2. But I'll ask this, and I think you might have kind of already said it, but I did find it a bit concerning how much Russell's velo dropped per inning. And kind of just, do you think that was because he had to warm up in the fourth, and then we ended up going Phillips another 2 innings? Or do you think that's just
you think
that's what it was?
Yeah, he was tossing a while down there, Andrew.
Yeah.
It is now 7-0 Arkansas, by the way, so looking like they'll be 2-0.
Yeah. If we had decided to go someone else, could he kind of, after he'd already warmed up, could he have gone back and sat down and waited until tomorrow, or is that kind of a once you're up, you're probably going in kind of thing?
I think with him having thrown 75 last weekend, I don't think a bullpen where he got hot would have completely wiped him out for tomorrow. But it does make you just feel better to just go ahead and use him, protecting the kid's arm. But, at minimum, it would have limited his workload tomorrow. He couldn't have given you 60 pitches tomorrow had you not used him after he got up those 2 times, or 3 or 4, however many it was. But I personally would have preferred, 2 or 3 good innings tomorrow versus 2 innings in a 8-2 game tonight. But
yeah, I mean, tomorrow we're probably going to have to go to Snead first out of the pen, and maybe Franklin, and you obviously got Loy we can throw in there. But
Loy, Snead, or Franklin, and Arvidsson threw the one hitter.
Arvidsson,
so you're fine.
It's still plenty. Yeah, and I would imagine Russell could probably still give us maybe a couple innings on a Monday if necessary, but I don't think it'd be necessary. We've kind of seen it since the last couple of weekends of the SEC season. We're just taking better at bats. I remember last year's team in Omaha is just every time they had to, bear down and get it, they took great at bats, and we're starting to see that. I mean, pitching to Keelan and Fisher off the jump's got to be just torture. And you just get down there, and I mean, Levi Clark's the freshman taking at bats like Curley did last year. Just, I mean, they're not going to swing at crap, and if they swing, they're going to get all of it. And it's just, it's so hard to pitch to them with all the talent.
It hadn't been a whole lot of home runs either. I mean, they've only hit one each game. Chapman hit one last night, and Curley had one tonight. But it's just been missiles. Like, Fisher just peppered that right center wall tonight, and Keelan was a laser show all over the place. So,
And shout out to you, by the way, Will, because you've been saying we got to start respecting Peebles, and he's been on fire for close to a month now.
Postseason Peebs. That's right, Andrew.
That's right.
Hey, that dude's batting average has got – he was 250 coming into last night. I need to go see where he's at now. He was at like 185, 190 at one point during the year. You want to talk about a come-up. But right-handed Peebs is something to be reckoned with, and he's getting knocks from the left side too, and he's starting to go the other way, but he's a doubles machine. And
having that at 8 is just insane.
Yeah, and he's a switch hitter too. Like, I love Cannon Peebles so much.
Oh yeah. All right, Will. Have a good night.
All right, Andrew. Thanks for the call, man. Talk to you. Garza Law, Extra Innings. Welcome in.
What's up, Will?
What's up,
Berto?
man?
Hope you're having a good night.
I'm doing well, Berto.
Yeah. Man, I was really railing against Florida last night, and it felt really good. I guess you picked up on my hate for them. It seems after I hung up, I got to listen in, and it seems you realize I hate them so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that part of it was clear.
Yeah. Tonight we played a really good baseball team, and we pretty well handled them. Thought the ninth inning was really strange. It's kind of like the ninth inning West Virginia's having right now. I don't know how that's ended. I had to walk out when there was they made a pitching change. Can we get an update there, Will, real quick?
Which game?
The West Virginia Clemson game.
They got a strikeout to end it.
They won. Okay.
They won 9-6. Clemson loaded the bases in the ninth, but
yes, they did.
Clemson's really good at losing regionals in their home ballpark. Golly, that's impressive.
Yeah, I just this has been a wild and woolly one. I mean, you last night, and you were right. I mean, Oregon was a certified war machine this season, and they're gone. They're at home.
Yeah, they were the first seed, top 16 seed eliminated.
Yeah,
and Southern Miss was just close.
Yeah, you had called it beforehand. I hope you laid that bet on over 1.5, 3 or 4 seeds getting into the supers. You can make a lot of money on that. I wonder when you look across now and you realize that Kansas is gone, right? Arkansas, I feel like we're definitely playing them. And as I said last night, and thanks for the shout out and the quote there, 81% of the time, if you win the first 2 games, you win. You're in the super regional. So I feel really solid in saying I feel like we're going to get there. I feel like Arkansas is going to get there. Is it weird that we're going to square up to them? The way we're hitting the baseball right now, like as you said a moment ago, we're not hitting home runs. We're just hammering the baseball every time we hit it.
I'm fully in the boat, Roberto. So there's room in here for everyone.
Oh, I love it. I'll grab an oar. I'll jump in there with you. Yeah. I don't understand the pitching tonight, what we were doing there, and I kind of heard you elaborate on it a little bit. But it's basically you think it's because they got Russell hot and they just had to go ahead and use him. Is that what you were saying a moment ago?
That and Tony is extremely. He's so focused on the game in front of him that it's almost paranoia, and he's not going to do what we do and look ahead. He's just not going to do it, so we need to quit asking, you know?
Yeah, fair.
But, and
that's his job. That's why he's paid $3.5 million a year to coach baseball, and neither of us are. Yeah. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for the time, Will, and you're doing a great job, man. You're really killing it.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Hope we have another nice conversation. Lost him. I need to take a quick break. When I get back, we're going to do a quick look around the regional because there's been a lot shake out even since we went live. A lot of good baseball games going on. A lot of good baseball games going on across the country. That's a mouthful. Anyways, be right back here on Garza Law Extra Innings.
Get you back to the action here momentarily. It's Garza Law Extra Innings presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law firm. Online at garzalaw.com. Marcos and his team are your go-to law firm for a myriad of disciplines. When it comes to DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, or disability, you want to deal with folks that are of, by, and for our community. People that you will see in Lindsey Nelson Stadium when the Vols are playing baseball the rest of the spring and into the summer. Treating clients like family. Don't you dare trust anybody else. Available 24/7 at GarzaLaw.com. Also presented by our friends at VIP Play. 200 leagues to wager on. All your favorite types of bets. The Eagle, ladies and gentlemen, in the state of Tennessee has landed, and the betting space will never be the same. Whether it's VIP Players Club sweepstakes offered monthly, whether it's Bet Assured in Tennessee or the VIP Guarantee, you got to check it out and see what Will Heflin is talking about. Because I'm telling you, this man continues to get up, get in here, and do this program. So go over to VIP Play and give VIP Play a shot. Use the promo code TNTony when you do it. Again, TNTony. Bet $5 or more. You'll get your $100 bonus bet instantly. TNTony. Gambling problem? 800-889-9789. 21 and over and located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. Of course, Will Heflin has a baseball problem, but that's another story for another day. Also, a special shout out today to our friends at Rather and Kittrell. RKCapital.com. Start planning your future today at RKCapital.com. Personalized financial planning, disciplined investment strategy, ongoing guidance and partnership. RK Capital can help you in so many ways. And we're also presented by our friends at Calhoun's. Calhoun's, your taste of Tennessee. Leave the cooking to us all baseball season long. When you're getting together for your Tennessee watch parties, Calhoun's is a wonderful thing. When you want to grab something to or from the ballpark, it's always fresh. It's always going to be wonderful. It's available for pickup near you. And remember, Friday home games mean we're live, and Will be with us some down at Calhoun's on the river. It's phenomenal. Like Hunter Ensley says, Calhoun's, we're champions feast. Or does he say we're champs feast? At any rate, it's the taste of Tennessee. Now let's get back to more on our TLD Logistics phone line. Online at tldlogistics.com. Load those phone lines up at 865-200-5402. That's 865-200-5402. Here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Will Heflin.
Back with you on Garza Law Extra Innings. Quick look around the league before we get back to the phones. Georgia Tech and Murray State in the top of the 8th. 11-12, Murray State has a one-run lead. North Carolina handling Oklahoma 10-3. Arky's up 8-0 now on Creighton. Coastal Carolina, the 13 seed, down 3-4, but they have two runners on in the 6th. Vanderbilt 1-1 with Louisville in the 3rd. Texas up 2-1 on UTSA. Auburn 4-0 on Stetson. LSU 3-0 over DBU in the 3rd. 15 seed UCLA 7-1 in a former Pac-12 rematch against Arizona State in the 3rd. And then the winners bracket game in Hattiesburg, Miami Columbia is 4-0 Miami in the 3rd. About to add on more. Arizona Utah Valley in that Eugene regional. That's the winners bracket. Oregon, the first national seed, eliminated. 4-2 Arizona. And then St. Mary's USC in the Corvallis regional winners bracket because Oregon State is fraudulent, but we went over this. 3-1 in the 4th, St. Mary's advantage. Back to the phones we go. Thanks for being with us. Garza Law Extra Innings, you are on the air. Garza Law, you are on the air.
Hey, Will, is this me?
This is you.
Hey, this is Ryan in Johnson City. How you doing tonight?
Oh, man, I'm great. Sitting here talking to you. I got extra innings going on. Extra innings going on. Squeeze plays on the TV. Vols 2-0.
Nice. Hey, I just wanted to see what you thought about Dean Curley's at bats tonight. He just seemed to be locked in, and he seemed to put behind all the controversy around, the defense and all the stuff that's gone on with him this year. It seemed like he was just locked into his at bats tonight. He was great tonight.
He sure was. He sure was. He's a strong kid, and we all know he struggled defensively at times this year, but he's got it going on, and he's been, he's made the plays in front of him at second so far in this postseason, but the main thing that he's done is hammer the baseball, and he started doing this last postseason, so he's obviously a slow heart rate guy. He doesn't mind the big moment. I'm glad he's on our team, and I hope everybody's rooting for him. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and just wait until Hunter Inslee gets going. It seems like he hasn't quite gotten back into the rhythm, but man, when he gets it going, it seems like we're going to get it going.
100%. And Bargo's been extremely cold in the start of the postseason, but we've seen this with Bargo, right? He's streaky.
Right.
When he's hot, he can completely carry it for you, but he's not right now, and other guys are, so that's okay. We just need to, he needs to get hot at the right time. When that is, I don't know, but hopefully it happens.
So I wanted to ask, who do you? So since I guess we burned Russell tonight, who do you think we go Coons tomorrow off the bat?
Yeah, it'll be Coons to start, and you've got Snead and Loy, probably the first two options out of the pen. You've got Franklin. I don't think Coons will have a long leash at all unless he, cruises the first time through the order.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was great that we only had to go with, I guess, 3 pitchers tonight, and didn't have to burn a whole lot of other arms. So
sure did.
I think we're set up well.
We are, and the team that we play tomorrow night, whether it be Cincinnati or Wake Forest, they'll be on their 4th game, and Tennessee will be on their 3rd. So
yeah,
huge advantage to be sitting where they are. Just massive.
All right, Will. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call. Garza Law, Extra Innings, you are on the air.
Mr. VIP, how we doing tonight?
What's up, Braxton? How are you, dude?
It's Braxton, a.k.a. Jeremy. I hope you get my name right on this call. But I want to have a serious conversation. I know Dean Curley has gotten a lot of flack over the last month and a half, heck, whole season for a lot of us. But I want to know your thoughts on, do you think he just gets, because he's a slow heart rate guy or a low heart rate guy, as you've mentioned a couple times, do you think there's something to him just being a little extra dialed in the postseason?
I want to hear your thoughts on that. Something tells me you were an infielder.
I was once upon a time, and I've been as critical of the kid as anybody. But I just think at times this year he's been a little passive. Don't get me wrong. I've been as frustrated as the next person. But
you talking at the plate or in the field?
Well, in the plate, or I'm sorry, in the field at times he's just been atrocious this year. I don't really have a reason or excuse for that. But at the plate, he's been very passive. But there's something about, even as a true freshman last year, I know he was an older kid, but last year in the postseason run and in the couple games this year we've seen so far, he just seems to be a little extra dialed in. Would you not agree?
Yeah, and last year I thought he had kind of gotten over that freshman wall, right? Looked like the postseason was some extra juice. He had a little more bat speed that we were seeing earlier in the year. I mean, he played every day as a freshman, and so this year we're seeing it. Just looks like he's locked in. I mean, he backspun a ball to center field. You cannot hit a baseball better than that.
No, I totally agree. I think he backspun a ball to center field. He just looks, as frustrating as that low heart rate kind of SoCal, Cali approach may be at times in the regular season. I think that the low heart rate may actually play to his advantage this time of year, especially in big time situations. And so I don't know. I just wonder if there's something to that this time of year, if it plays to his advantage. I guess we'll see tomorrow and hopefully next weekend. But the second point I want to make was with us seemingly burning Russell tonight. I know you just said we're probably going to go Coons tomorrow, which I agree with. But do you go Coons, short leash, and then go Arvidsson, or what's your plan tomorrow out of the pen?
That probably depends on who we're playing. Depending on the situation, how many runs Tennessee has, where we're at in the order. If you think it's high leverage and you want to go Dylan Loy to get you out of an inning and maybe see how long he can go, that's fine. If you're looking for length, then yeah, I think you go straight to Arvidsson and see how long he can go. But if Coons is able to get you 4 or 5, a more traditional start, then I wouldn't hate going to Snead and then using those two lefties to finish the deal and give Snead like the 6th and 7th. I don't think Tony's ever going to be dead set on who he goes to first. So it doesn't do you or I any good to sit here and speculate. It's going to be totally dependent on how the thing shakes out.
No, that's totally fair. He's as we all know, he's seemingly pushed all the right buttons in years past. This year it's been a little inconsistent. But the last point I wanted to kind of bring up, and I think it's a point that we've seen kind of play out and come to fruition over the last couple of weeks in Hoover and even a game at Arkansas is, this team's shown a lot of fight. And I just want to hear your thoughts. If you think at this time of year, whether it's Hoover, regional, supers, or beyond, do you think that this program, they just seem to rise to the occasion when they need it? Because what we've seen the last couple of nights, we haven't really seen down the stretch the last 6-7 weeks of the regular season. So want to hear your thoughts on that. I'll hang up and listen, and appreciate your time.
Pleasure, Jerry. Absolute pleasure. That noise kind of throws me for a loop. Anyways, I got to drop them before they get off. Gotcha. Thanks, Tony. Thank you, Jeremy, for the call. Braxton, whatever your name is. Anyways, yeah, I think they do just kind of turn it on in the postseason. And I don't know how many times I have to say it. I'm fully in the boat. I'm jumping in the boat. They've got me sold. They've got me hooked, whatever you want to call it. I think the low heart rate, business-like mentality of this team that kind of frustrated us at times this year is going to be exactly why they can go into Baum Stadium and put the pressure on the other team, if that's what it ends up being. And I think that's why they can go into Omaha at the Chuck TD Ameritrade and play more under control, play a better brand of baseball, play cleaner baseball, Negative, play cleaner than their opponent on that big stage, because they've got guys that, yeah, they make mistakes sometimes, but they don't ever seem sped up. They don't ever seem sped up. Let's go back to the phones. Garza Law Extra Innings, you're on the TLD Logistics Hotline.
Will the Thrill, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Man, we smoked them like a pack of cigarettes, brother. Took their lunch money.
Well, he gave up 2 hits through, 6 innings? I mean, it wasn't a no-hitter, but what is he throwing? He's got a changeup. Mm-hmm. He's throwing a fastball,
and a slider. Those 3. The changeup's about 90. The slider is going to be 86 to 88. And the fastball's 95 to 98 tonight. Was 95 to 98 tonight. Mostly 6 and 7.
I mean, Tony Balls, you go to South Dakota and find a cat like that. I mean, it's unbelievable, Andy. I mean, his stuff is nasty. The kid is a hoff. And, yeah, some of those pitches. and I've made a remark previously about, robot umpires and, Tony Ball's involvement with MMA and him doing a spinning back fist on a robot. I'm sorry, man, but some of this umpiring is, it just seems, granted, they have a tough job, but some of these pitches look like strikes. And then, what's his name on the call said, well, at least but it wasn't consistent. I saw some balls at the knee. You know what I'm saying?
At least we didn't get the crew that's in Eugene, Oregon this weekend. I'll say that. Bless up. You see that call last night?
No, I missed it. What happened?
Oregon's down 2. Sack fly, play at the plate, long hops the catcher from left field. So he's standing right in front of home plate. Couldn't be more in front of home plate if he tried. His feet were quite literally straddling home plate, about 1.5 feet in front of it. Runner slides in. The long hop throw tips off of his glove and goes over him before the runner gets there. Anyways, he kind of half slides and then figures out that, hey, I'm in no man's land, and he missed the ball and stood up. So he kind of stops his slide, gets caught in the turf, and braces himself. And as he makes contact with the catcher, it was a pretty good collision. The guy was running full speed. He just kind of tumbles over him. So, at first glance, nothing. The umpire rules him safe. He goes back and touches home plate. And then the Utah Valley coach comes out of the dugout and wants to review it for malicious contact. And the Oregon side is like, well, if you're going to review that, you need to review it for obstruction as well, because my guy didn't have anywhere to go. And they took 7-8 minutes, which is a lifetime to do a review. Come back and say they throw the kid out, rule him out, even though the catcher, before the base runner ever got to the plate for any sort of contact, had dropped the ball and it was completely gone out of the play. They rule him out, take the run off the board, move the runner that had advanced to second back to first, and threw him out of the game. This was one of their better hitters, and so he was out of the game today. They score 1 the next inning and end up losing by 1. So that run would have essentially tied the game. But you don't know what would have happened the inning before, because that's an extra out. Runner's now not in scoring position. It was a whole mess. And I believe that same crew threw out a Cal Poly guy today after a home run for flipping his bat or something like that. So just, a real stain on the game, wow. Making it soft. Now's a great time to bring in Matt Dixon. I want to ask Matt what Tony Vitello would have done had that happen to one of our players, and Hunter Inslee or something like that. I think he would have left in handcuffs, and there might be about 1,500 Vol fans that would have been on the field leaving in handcuffs too, and whatever, that would have been an absolute mess. So I guess
he would have been in the showers early.
He would have been in the showers. Frank Anderson would have been in handcuffs with him. It would have been a mess. Matt Dixon, what's up, man? Say what's up.
What's up? There would have been a lot of golf balls and mustard bottles thrown on the field if that ever happened to Tennessee. And Tony Vols and Frank would be the first coaches that ever had to get bailed out of jail for Tennessee to have coaches in the following day's game.
The Lindsey Nelson concession crew would have had to order more mustard bottles for the next game, like FedEx overnight.
It would have been an absolute mess. Absolute mess. You need to go watch that replay, though, so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. It was... It's the game. I realize the game's not what it was in the 80s. Pete Rose running over catchers, stuff like that. But sometimes there's going to be contact. And these kids are tough, and nobody was hurt. Nothing was malicious about the play. It absolutely is a disgrace to... If that's the rule, then it's a bad rule. And if that was the interpretation of the rule, then that's a bad interpretation. But, I don't want to get on here and rant about somebody else's regional. That's not my problem. But as a fan of the game, no bias in that at all. I would have been rooting Utah Valley had that not happened, but I just thought Oregon got hosed. And you hate to see that because you want the game to continue to grow, and stuff like that doesn't grow the game.
Well, the game of the night last night arguably was the Vanderbilt game, and there was, controversy. Now, the Mountaineers, and I have a total disdain for Clemson because of the football aspect, them taking guys that should have been on our damn team.
You're not a dab. Oh, T. Higgins, Amari Rogers. Yep. Shoot.
And probably Tony's best imitation is his Dabo. So and now I'm right in the heart of Clemson country, right? Yeah, go figure.
For you.
But
you better get out of there before this football season. I'll tell you that.
Now, yeah, West Virginia ended up winning. Kudos to them. That's a good ball team, man. They are good. But did that ball not look like it hit the line going down the left field line?
Man, that was close. That was one of the closer ones I've seen.
That was crazy. I mean, on the review, if you pause it right there, it hit. But anyway, they ended up winning. So kudos to the Mountaineers. I got a question about the home team. Why were we not the home team?
Man, that's a stupid rule, too. Here's the reasoning. Because technically, it's a neutral site. Tennessee is the host, but they're not the home team. It's the NCAA. It's a power trip. It's whatever. So every game they evaluate, has one team been home more than the other? And Cincinnati, being the lower seed, was away in their first game against the 2-seed Wake. Tennessee was the 1 seed, obviously, so they were home for their first game. So Tennessee had 1 game as home. Cincinnati had none. Cincinnati was the home team. Now, depending on who wins the game tomorrow between Wake and Cincinnati, if one of those teams has been home more, then Tennessee will be home for the nightcap. It's stupid. It's because they technically see it as a neutral site is how they wanted to act. That's why they, for years, they didn't give you your walk-up songs. It's like, give me a break. We're playing in our park, and we can't have our walk-up songs. But that's a different story for a different day. But that's why they do it.
Yeah, I was just curious because I see LSU, but I guess Dallas Baptist, was the home team yesterday or whatever. And, man, I was hoping the Blue Jays would make a comeback, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Dude, on the way out, what a game. And Andrew Fisher is him, bro. Like, that cat is – and every year Tony has a cat on his team that has marbles.
He's got some gumption.
Shout out Major League, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, Andrew Fisher, I mean, put the eye black all over your face, bro. Like, just let him draw. I mean, that kid is an absolute beast. And you see the veins popping out of his arms when he just ropes one to the damn wall. Like, it's unbelievable, Andy.
2 questions
on
for
the
you.
Way out, Will.
I got 2 questions for you. And then you can give me your statement.
Well, I got one last question, but go ahead.
Who does Tennessee face? So who wins the first game tomorrow? And then what's the score of the second game? Sammy?
It's going to be Wake and Cincy.
Yeah. Who wins that game?
I have 2 questions. Yeah, I have 2 questions going out the door. Matt, get in touch with Ewad. What the hell is that Bearcat emblem on their uniform. Like, are we in the Japanese league, bro? Like, come on, man, do better than that.
Sammy, answer the question. Who wins?
It's going to be
the people want to know.
Cincinnati. It's going to be Cincinnati again, and they're going to come back. They're going to have to play a doubleheader, correct? So I'm looking 17-4 Vols tomorrow, and then we'll get ready to go to Fayetteville.
So we're taking their lunch and dinner money tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But last question on the way out. What is the celebration, Will, when they get to second? Are they? I think I might have asked you this, Matt, in the past, but are they cracking an egg, or like, what is they showering over their face? What is that about, bro?
You know who started that, don't you?
Was it Russell?
No. Same era. It was Gilbert. Okay. Gilbert doesn't know what that means, and he started it. And I'm telling you the wholehearted truth, nothing but the truth. That literally means nothing. He doesn't know what it means. We had a lot of time to kill in COVID, right? Didn't have jack going on. And Gilbert's the weirdo that would be, in the living room in front of the mirror trying to come up with cool celebrations and just doing random stuff. Some of it would be, meaning something, imitating something. Some of it was just whatever his muscles decided to do, and he would see how it looked. Quite literally, my sweet wife and I were in the car with him. I believe it was after the Notre Dame game in which he was ejected. He was nice enough to give us a ride back to our car because we had to park super far away, and that kind of let him sneak around the crowd because we kind of shielded him. Anyways, I asked him, I was like, dude, what does that mean? I had texted him about it before, and he didn't tell me. And I was like, all right, you just got ejected, lot of stuff's going on. What does it mean? Just tell. Everybody wants to know. He was like, I have zero clue. I was like, well, how'd you start doing it? He was like, just doing stuff in the living room like I always did. I was like, all right. And you just stuck with that? And he was like, yep. He was like, now I just kind of ag it on because people think it means something. He's one of the quirkiest, weirdest, awkward human beings you've ever met. And on the field, he was him. He was psycho. Guy was built for a big moment, but that wasn't what he was like off the field. So I love that man, Drew Gilbert.
Well, and that's the perfect answer, like, for him to, well, I don't know what it means. That's just spot on. And he hit arguably the greatest home run in Tennessee baseball history. So shout out to him. I hope he's listening somewhere. And, man, what a game. And Will, again, Matt, great show. Let's go I think it's going to be the Bearcats. Let's go get them. And we'll talk to y'all tomorrow, brother. Love y'all.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call.
Hey,
Matt,
Will?
Yeah.
Drew Gilbert might not know what that celebration means, but Cannon Peebles bringing it back this weekend greatly increases this team's chances of getting back to Omaha.
By how much, Matt? By how much?
I think 15 or 20%. I think you said 5%.
I said it
definitely increases
5%.
Because this team needs a little bit of that fight and juice, and Cannon bringing that back, I think helps with that. And even Fisher did it after his. So good to see it still carrying on.
It's a good point, Matt. You're full of those. We'll get some more good points from Matt and hit the phones on our TLD Logistics hotline, 865-200-5402. Got one line open if you want to give us a call. Be right back on the other side.
We appreciate you listening to Garza Law Extra Innings, presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm. We'll get you back to the action here momentarily. Portions today presented by our friends at TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. So much more than a trucking company. First of all, tremendous supporters of your Tennessee baseball Vols. You will see Jim Peters. You will see Kevin Herman. You will see those folks at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, rain, sleet, or snow. But the important thing is TLD Logistics does everything. Whatever your challenges are relating to shipping, you reach out to them. They're going to take care of you. They even helped out the recent Super Bowl, trucking something across the country to them. They can do it for you. And if you are wanting to become an owner-operator, do we ever have an opportunity for you? Check out tldlogistics.com for more information. Also presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Simpson's Meats raises and sources their meat on farms, on pasture, on purpose, comfortably continuing a tradition that began in 1888 on Jim Simpson's farm. I'm talking about a beef brand built on quality. I'm talking about, you're going to pay a little more, but you're going to get what you pay for and then some. Steaks, burgers, sausages, roast, chicken. They also have a variety of local offerings at their butcher shop, from milk to honey to jams to eggs. You name it, they've got it. Stop by and taste the best from the Tennessee community. And if you want to buy in bulk, they sell half and quarter cows as well. Steaks make a great gift. Gift boxes available. Ship premium meats anywhere in the world at simpsonsmeats.com. Visit their store in West Knoxville off Level Road and shop there today. Also presented by our friends at Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation and logistics tech company, proud sponsor of the My 20 Drive of the Game, right here on Garza Law Extra Innings, revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide. We want your fleet to be more efficient, our drivers and roads safer. We all want that. Take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, make drivers happy. KONEXIAL.com, KONEXIAL.com. And now, without further ado, let's get back to the action on our TLD Logistics phone lines. Light them up at 865-200-5402. It's Garza Law Extra Innings, and here's the superstar, Will Heflin.
Hey, Matt. Louisville's up 3-1. They're not going to hold on to that, are
they? There's no chance that they end the game holding Vandy to 1 run. No, Vandy's probably got them right where they want them. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I mean, Louisville's a really good program. Hopefully they can hang on and Vandy can make a few more mistakes, but that's going to be a nail biter to the end.
Vandy's got that.
As are most of these games. It's been an incredible day of getting a lot of upsets.
Mm-hmm. Vandy's got that come from behind juju right now. Speak of the devil, they just scored a bizarre run. Oh, that was a replay. Excuse me. Wake Forest and Cincinnati will be at noon tomorrow. That's an elimination game. The winner of that will see Tennessee at 6 p.m. Same start time tomorrow as today. So that's nice for a little routine for the baseball Vols. They need one win. Whoever they face will have to beat them twice. That's how regionals work, Matt. Let's go back to the phones. On our TLD Logistics hotline, this is Garza Law Extra Innings. You're on the air.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
It's Swamp Fox Vol.
Swamp Fox Vol?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Will?
Are you like a? Are you a?
I live in South Carolina. I live in South Carolina, but I'm a diehard Vol. That's
okay. That's not like your Twitter name. I thought you were like a Vol Twitter guy. Or is it your Twitter name?
I'm not. I'm nothing. I'm anything substantial on the Twitter sphere.
I got a tweet today from Big Meaty Vols. I thought that was something.
Big Meaty Vol.
Big Meaty Vols.
Oh, Big Meaty Vol.
Big Meaty Vols. VAWLS.
That's interesting.
He said, "Your blank is grass tonight. So what rhymes with grass?" And I said, "Why is that?" And he gave me the number, the TLD Logistics hotline. He said 865-200-5402, and I thought, oh boy,
That's
Big
wonderful.
Meaty Vols, he's ready. And I said,
That's wonderful.
I responded, TLD hotline, Talk soon, big meaty. Anyways,
I wonder if he'll call in.
I'm sitting here waiting on him. Anyways, you're Fox Swamp, but that just reminded me of Big Meaty. So.
Swamp Fox, yeah.
Swamp Fox.
So I usually call him with the nuances, not X's and O's. I got the X's and O's, but like some people like the nuances, the sideshow stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to call in with that stuff.
Hit it.
So I got a family. I got 3 daughters, and a lot of times,
God bless
depending
you.
on when the game's on, I'm listening to Wilkerson on the radio out by the grill, you know. And
was Redmond on with him tonight?
Huh?
Was Redmond on with him tonight?
I don't think so. I did not hear him at all.
Okay.
He may have been, but I think I listened about 70% of the game on my phone through the UT Sports app.
Okay.
Which is a strange way to access the game just altogether. It just I don't know. It works, but anybody else that's out there that likes to listen to Wilkerson and listen to the game, because he's a great caller. I don't think there's many like him.
He's phenomenal.
He loves his numbers, and he rattles them off like crazy, and it's impressive, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
There was this kid. He must have been, and I've never heard him before on the broadcast. He had to have been anywhere from 7 to 10 years old. And this kid was constantly, I mean, every inning, giving the other team shit, rattling off numbers. That's 4.52. That's 5.46. That's 4. You get him out of here. I mean, you just heard him the whole entire game, almost as well as you heard, Wilkerson and them. But anybody else out there that's listening, that listened to the game on the radio tonight, will know exactly what I'm saying. It was highly entertaining. Whoever that kid is, you got to get him on the show. I don't know who he is, but he had to have been close to the action. And that kid has got more baseball knowledge than most adult men have. It was highly entertaining. And I think our team did a really good job tonight. I'm really proud of the way they Phillips pitched, and just complete composure and the decisions we made, and the fielding, and it was that two games in a row, 2 really good games in a row when we've been seeing some, God, it feels like a couple months worth of like questionable, like what's going on here type games, but like 2 games in a row where it feels like, maybe all that was just a charade. I don't know, but let's keep it going. Go Vols. And thank you all so much for everything you do. It adds to the daily grind. It adds a little bit of love to the daily grind that we all go through. And I appreciate y'all so much for everything you do. And
man.
Good night.
Great.
Go Vols.
Great talking to you, Swamp Fox. That's the man. Matt, I think we can find that kid. I know where John Wilkerson's booth is, and they've got the temporary deal with all the construction, so they are kind of open to some background noise, if you will. And I'll see if I can think of if you're going to be over there in the media booth tomorrow, you'll be right next to him. You might be able to find him for us.
Really close, yeah. Yeah, we can definitely probably get that arranged. So,
all right. Well, there's you a task for tomorrow. So we can bring him on. Heck, we might even duel in Swamp Fox just to make sure they go back to back, so he can ask him. Bring in Swamp Fox, let him ask the kid some questions, then bring the kid in and let him answer ours and Swamp Fox questions so that he gets credit for finding this young man who's going to be a gem, so I'm told. I'm going to take him at his word for it. If he's calling the, 5-4-3 double play in real time, he's got to know ball. He's got to know ball. So
yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious to see who he is.
I'm excited for it. But great call. And you know what? He's touched on it there at the end. Share love, something like that. Spread love. Be nice to everybody. Tell somebody you love them. Somebody who maybe you haven't talked to in a while, just let them know you're there. Say, hey, been thinking about you. Hope all is well. They'll appreciate it. Back to the phones we go. TLD Logistics Hotline. I'm feeling good. This is Garza Law, Extra Innings. You are on the air.
Hey, Will. Billy with Grade A Grounds. How's it going?
Billy, what's up, brother?
Man, little hoarse on the way home after the game.
That's a good sign, Billy.
Yay, talk about noise right there behind the first base dugout. Me and some of those rowdy Cowboys were bringing it just like that kid. It was intense.
Mm-hmm. Smoked them like a pack of cigarettes. That's what Williams said last night.
That's hilarious. Hey, couple of things, though. I want to, first off, start with, obviously, great game. Phillips going the as long as he did. I was surprised, though, especially that first inning. Cincinnati's got runners on. That third and fourth inning, runners on. They weren't trying. They were definitely getting in his head, jumping around. But I was definitely surprised that they did not try to take any bags for the most part with Phillips on the mound. And it also looked like maybe he did have not as high of a leg kick. I just was going to get your thoughts on that.
Two parts to controlling the run game. It's not rocket science, but it's also not easy to do. Part number one, Marcus Phillips did this better tonight than he ever has. Long holds. Felt like a human rain delay those first two innings when he had some traffic. But you know what? He wasn't going to let it happen. And then secondly, the abbreviated leg lift. Still not super quick to the plate, but it made him, not just complete total green light, right? And it was really the pauses and the looks before he ever went to the plate that shut it down. And then he was able to time one up and actually pick the guy off. I couldn't tell you the last time we picked anybody off. And if you would have said, Will, VIP play, Will, you've got to make a bet on who the next Tennessee pitcher is to pick off a base runner, it wouldn't have been Phillips. But he did it, and that was a big-time pickoff. I know we were ahead. We were ahead a decent bit.
Yes.
We were ahead at that point in the game, but it still felt good, right? Because he knows. They all know.
Number two, that was such in my opinion, that was a huge momentum swing because we got that pickoff, and they had the momentum right there. That I think that gave us the second out, and then they popped one up for the third out, and that was number two. He was maybe 2 or 3 steps off the bag. That was just a wicked play. He wasn't ready. I don't think any of us were ready for Phillips to turn and throw it over there, let alone Fisher. But no, that was, in my opinion, that was a huge play. That's right where I was at. But no, that just, I don't know, caught me off guard, especially with all the talk we had, during the week, knowing how they're going to attack the bags and put pressure on. It just felt like they were never in the game or even playing their game tonight.
Mm-mm. We didn't let them get into their game. That's a phenomenal way to sum it up.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll hopefully get us another one tomorrow and make our way down to Arkansas. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
Yeah, man. You too. Appreciate it.
Well, and not only did they get the pickoff, but I think Phillips got a strikeout, and then that led directly into the next inning where Tennessee put up that 4 spot to really give themselves a lot of breathing room. So, you've talked about it all year, how this team just is their own momentum killer. They finally, carried some momentum over and took advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Little wins within the game. Unbelievable stuff tonight. Let's bring in our next caller. Garza Law, Extra Innings. You're on the air.
Will, Dixie.
What's
GBF&O, boys.
That's right.
What's up, Gary?
Hey, I'm in a carload of people coming back from Monroe, North Carolina. We were at a wedding tonight with a family member getting married down there.
Congratulations to him.
Clemson grad and all their Clemson folks. And
yikes!
We got warned when we were doing dinner after the wedding and they had done the dance, but we were in between the father-daughter dance, and we were told that Rocky Top will not be allowed to be played tonight. But we broke out "It's great to be a Tennessee Vol" chant on them and showed them who was boss. Don't you worry.
I love that, and my condolences for having to watch that implosion in the ninth for a bunch of
I
Clemson
would like
fans
to have my only
wedding.
regret. It was a great night. The music was great. We did the cha-cha slide and the ghetto hokey pokey. We did it all. But not getting to announce to the crowd that West Virginia had beat Clemson was my only regret.
Yeah, well, that probably would have been a step over the line, if you will.
I've been known to dip a toe past the line on occasion.
Well,
so.
I'm glad you kept that one in the holster, but that probably would have been funny.
No, so the game didn't see runs 7, 8, 9, and 10. We had our phones out. Everybody in our crew we were watching, but we were also, like I said, we were up and dancing, acting fools. So can't wait to get home and watch replay of the game. Did get to see Phillips with the pickoff move, caught the kid leaning. So happy for him to have that moment. He deserves it because I think he's caught a lot of blame when it wasn't deserved. Felt like base runners weren't a concern for the program. Let's just say it that way. And we've actually seemed to have taken a little more concern of keeping guys on close to the base they're currently occupying, as opposed to just letting them run free and worrying about the batter. So kudos to him. He's not deserved the blame he's got, and hats off for that performance tonight. And we should have everybody ready tomorrow. I mean, I guess Snead's available. Arvidsson's got plenty of innings in him tomorrow. Coons will go out and give us a hell of a good start, and we're going to beat whoever it is. I'm assuming. I think we would all rather play Wake Forest tomorrow. Isn't that what we're all hoping for?
I don't have a preference. Matt, do you have a preference?
Not really. I just hope it's a really high scoring game like there's today with a lot of pitchers used, a lot of pitches thrown. Wake Forest still can't find the strike zone with anybody they send out there. So I just hope it's a high leverage game for 9 innings and both teams use all their pitchers up.
9. Let's hope they play 18.
Gonna be a late Garza Law extra innings if they play 18 in that first game. Lordy.
Hey, we'll be on here. We'll be on here. We can party late, can't we, Will?
That's right, brother. That's right. I'll stay.
All
as
right,
late
love
as
you,
want.
boys.
Hey, be safe on your way back.
Get us home. Get us home. We got about 2 hours to go. You guys carry us home.
Yeah, be safe. Matt, I wanna ask you because we may see Cincinnati again tomorrow, and you were at the park. It looks like they try to do the timing where they take the short lead and then they kind of do the hop and a skip. It's basically like a secondary before their secondary. They take a real small lead and then they try to time you up and almost skip into it. And it's a skill, and when it works, they get phenomenal jumps. But Phillips really just said, "You're not doing that. I'm doing long holds." And one time on the pickoff, he caught the guy basically in the middle of his extension of his lead with the skip, and he wasn't able to get back in time. You were there, so you probably had a better view of like what they were doing it, how often they were doing it. They do that on every pitch, or is that just kind of the base stealers, or like what do you see there?
No, they definitely do it, especially when they're on second. That's probably when they do it the most. So no, it's a good thing you picked up, and I would assume that was part of Tennessee's scout from watching them, probably both on film and just live Friday. So no, that was a good read by Tennessee's part, and again, Phillips did a great job, changing up the timing of when he went to the plate, and obviously the quicker delivery. I think he occasionally he kind of overcompensates and kind of pulls pitches to his glove side, just trying to throw it harder with that. But I mean, that's fine. But he did a really good job, got out of trouble a bunch, which was key. So, but yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't think Cincinnati had the right guys on in key spots to where they could maybe try to swipe a bag or two until Tennessee got a little loose defensively there in the later innings. But I think they wound up stealing 3 bases, but that,
yeah, those
for the most
those
part,
two off of Russell
when the
were
game was
just
competitive. They didn't do any of that. So
the two
and
off of Russell.
Their
were
leadoff
point
hitter
difference.
didn't play today. He played yesterday and actually was really good. And DH, but he didn't play, and I think he's 39 of 40 on stolen bases on the year. So that was kind of a really big loss for them to set the tone at the top of their lineup.
Yeah, no doubt. And the way that you stop it on second, and Phillips did it every time, is basically you're going to look at them until their feet stop. And he just wasn't gonna go to home plate until they stopped, and that's just preventing them from basically timing it up and getting all the momentum into their jump as they go to third. Essentially, you got to make them stop gaining ground, and as soon as they stop their momentum, then you turn and go, because they're not able to steal once they've stopped. But Matt, we've had 2 people talk about Clemson, and I realize we can pick at them tonight because they lost, but their season's not over. They could certainly come back and win 3 straight games in their home ballpark. I think they'll get it to Monday at least. But all the Clemson haters out there better be careful, because that team's going to be good during football season. But that's not what we're talking about on Extra Innings, presented by Garza Law. Matt, let's take one more call, and then I'm taking it to the house. Extra Innings presented by Garza Law. This is the TLD Logistics Hotline. You are the last caller.
What's happening, Will and Matt? I don't think you're gonna get Rusty home, but maybe my call will get him a few more minutes on down the road.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. How are you, brother?
I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. How you boys doing?
I can't say I've heard that one. A hair in a biscuit? What color's the hair?
Well, it's whatever you want it to be, brother. I don't know. That's just something my papa used to say a long time ago. So
I like it.
Anyway, going back, I know we're beating this thing like a dead horse, but I mean, I was so happy for Marcus Phillips, like his performance tonight, and then when he picked the kid off, it's like everybody said, they caught him kind of mid skip when he spun and threw it on him, and then he struck the guy out. What we kind of caught a glimpse of afterward, after he struck the guy out, did he turn and say something to the Cincinnati bench? Because Peebles, when he was going back to the dugout, and if I missed this earlier in the show, I apologize. I did get on a little late. Peebles was saying something to Tony. And Tony came out of that dugout madder than hell. Like, he was mad, and he was, like, barking at somebody across the way. Like, what was that all about? I know Matt was there, but either of y'all know what that was all about? And like I said, if I missed it earlier, I apologize.
Usually when you see it on TV, you probably have you can see the replays if anything happens. I know what you're talking about, and I had no clue. Matt, do you know?
Well, I don't have a view of Tennessee's dugout, but somebody did ask me about Vitello being hot. I know Phillips was really pumped up and kind of looked Cincinnati's way and said something as he was kind of hopping off the mound after the strikeout. I just kind of assumed that it was the umpires, kind of being a little bit, overly officiating and kind of making sure nobody came out of Tennessee. Kind of, I don't think they gave him a warning, but kind of just over umpiring and trying to keep things calm, and Vitello just
not, Matt.
Was full Tony.
Over umpiring? There's no way.
Yeah. These guys don't never do that, do they, boys? They don't overextend their bounds at times. No, but tickled to death for Marcus and like what he was able to do and how he's. Like Rusty said, he's received a lot of blame. Not all of it's on him. Part of it is, but not all of it. He's received the most of it, unfortunately. But when Russell came in, that kid at second base, man, it's like Matt said, when they get on second, that's when you think they're out there doing the cha-cha slide in. I mean, he was bouncing around back and forth, and I think that really got to Russell a little bit. And that's when he balked, and the guy was able to move on to third. But just the thing I like, we had one home run last night and one tonight?
Yeah.
and we've put up 10 runs, 9 runs both nights. Just station to station, hitting the ball, and I mean hitting it hard too. When daggone Fisher, that one he hit, man, he barreled that thing up. Peebles, like, I've kind of been down on Peebles all year, but that kid's really starting to come on at the right time. He's turning it on. He's hitting the ball. He's squaring it up. He missed a home run by, 2-3 feet, it went foul, looked like maybe. I mean, he crushed that ball, and it just went foul.
And then hit one off the wall later in the game.
Yeah, I think this team's just, they're built for the postseason. I really do. Like, I'm so tickled with them, and it's all set up. Like y'all said, hopefully Wake and Cincy both go through about 8 or 9 pitchers tomorrow in that first game. We're all set up, ready to go in that final game, and we just beat their eyes shut. As the great Tony Basilio says, beat them like we're mad at them, move on, go to Arkansas, and show up with our rings and show them what the hardware is.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good plan. I think I want to see Wake. After thinking about it, Matt Dixon, you talked about they can't throw strikes. This Tennessee baseball team is extremely disciplined right now at the plate. They are not swinging out of the zone. They are forcing walks, and seems like there's an emphasis on the strike zones being a little tight, not just in our regional, but kind of everywhere. So pretty good combination for Tennessee to face a team that is struggling to throw strikes tomorrow. So I may want us to see Wake Forest so we can just beat all 3 that come to our park. But I don't really care either way. I think we'll beat Cincinnati too.
Real quick before I get off here, something you mentioned earlier, man. This Texas University San Antonio game. Mm-hmm. Texas was up 6-0. It's 6-5 now. They have rallied, and it really should be 6-6 if it weren't for a base running error by San Antonio a minute ago.
Wow.
Those cats are coming on, so horns down. Vandy boys can suck it. Auburn can suck it. I hope Stetson wins. I ain't one of these SEC guys. Hell with them. I'm a Tennessee guy. Like, y'all kiss my ass and bark at the hole. Y'all have had a hell of a show, boys. I love you. I mean it.
Good night. Matt, that's the perfect
that
one
balances out you wanting to call friends, Will, from that you mentioned earlier. That the hate watching and our callers can balance all that out. The love-hate relationship.
That's right. Hey, that UTSA is no joke. They went into Texas. I know it was a midweek, but they've won in that ballpark before this season, and they ran through the American. That's a dang good ball. That's a dang good ball club. I'm
very similar to ETSU in Tennessee. Tennessee always gets their best punch every year, and then ETSU actually won the game this year, so it's kind of the same thing. For they play with a chip on their shoulder when you play the Longhorns.
100%. Well, I appreciate everybody a ton. I'm going to hop off here, head home, watch the rest of these games. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Garza Law Extra Innings. I'm VIP Play Will. That's the great one and only Matt Dixon. If you heard that burp, that was T to the B. He's not gonna acknowledge. Anyways, thanks so much for all the calls. Have a good night. Cheers. Love you. Dwight Gooden. Garza Law, Tennessee Baseball, Extra Innings, presented by the Garza Law Firm. Online at garzalaw.com. Call in 865-200-5402. TLD Logistics Hotline. We're live after every SEC. We're live after every Tennessee postseason baseball game. Spread the word. Tell a friend. Come join us. We're live at tclub.team, X Spaces, Twitch, and YouTube. I am Will Heflin. Vols are one singular baseball game win away from a third straight super regional. 4 out of the last 5 years. No, 5 out of the last 6 years, I believe. 4 out of the last 5. Something like that. Marcus Phillips, 6 innings, 3 earned. Really was 2. Gave up the solo his last batter faced. They sent him out there for the 7th, trying to squeeze an extra inning out of him. It's neither here nor there. Ties a career high with 8 strikeouts. The offense was solid. Gavin Keelan is just a hit parade in postseason play so far. Andrew Fisher laced balls into the right center gap. Dean Curley, in the middle of a Tony Vitello in-game interview, goes off the batter's eye to the right field side of that center field batter's eye. And Tony Vitello was live talking with Mike Monaco and KP. Mike Monaco, by the way, unbelievable play-by-play guy. And I've been on the record giving some guys some flack, and I know I'm just, I'm not the best guy to ever do it. But I've done a few games and have a little bit of self-confidence in that deal. But Mike Monaco is phenomenal, and I like KP too. He could, he can get in some quirks at times, but I love his voice. But anyways, Tony Vitello sees the ball off of Dean's bat and says, "Dean's strong. I hope that's a home run." And it was. Absolute missile. Tennessee, pretty consistent approach at the plate. Made it really tough on Mr. O'Connell from Cincinnati. I mean, he was at 55 pitches through 2 innings. Levi Clark and Andrew Fisher both had long ABs. Levi in the first, Fisher in the second. Levi's ended up in a walk. Fisher's a strikeout, but Fisher's was 9 pitches. That's